Tony Stewart is tired of being blamed for Stewart-Haas Racing's struggles, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. explains why he may not return to NBC this year. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to another episode of Out of the Groove. Real quick, my friends at the Daily Downforce are currently looking for new writers to join the team ahead of the 2024 season. If that's something that interests you, click the top link down in the description below to learn more. Let's get to the latest NASCAR news. This morning, Spire Motorsports confirmed that Rajah Caruth will drive the number 71 truck full-time this season. Speaking of Daily Downforce, they were the first to report on this back in January. The 21-year-old race car driver from Washington, D.C. scored 4 top 10s racing for GMS in trucks last year. Crew chief Chad Walter will follow Rajah to Spire after working with him at GMS last year. And while typically I don't read prepared press release quotes, I thought this comment from Chad Walter talking about Rajah was especially powerful. He said, quote, "Personally, that kid, Rajah, has changed my life. I don't know of anyone who I would want to work harder for or have wanted to work harder for over the last 15 years of my career. He's so uplifting in so many ways. He works hard and he wants to get better." Gosh, get you a crew chief who will go to bat for you the way Chad Walter goes to bat for Rajah Caruth. Look, Rajah's a friend of the channel. I've been a fan of his for several years now. He clearly still has room to grow. He still has a little ways to go before I'd consider him a consistent NASCAR contender. But you know, we often talk about young drivers in trucks and Xfinity, and we ask, are they getting better? Are the results showing tangible improvement week after week, year after year? And in many cases, the answer is no, honestly. But in the case of Rajah Caruth, just last year alone, you could see his season went something like this. Rajah didn't qualify for the Trucks playoffs last year, but in those races, his average finish was 10.1. That's pretty dang good, and 3 of Rajah's 4 top 10s on the year came in those final 7 races. So he got better as the year went on. If Rajah Caruth starts 2024 where he left off 2023, I think he'll make the Truck Series playoffs this year. Seriously. I think he has the right approach, and let's just be honest about the Truck Series. GMS is gone. KBM is now basically Spire Plus. Zane Smith is gone. Carson Hocevar is gone. Matt DiBenedetto appears to be gone. Hattori Racing Enterprises won't be at Daytona. I think the Truck Series is wide open this year. Why not Rajah? If he starts strong like he finished 2023, I think Rajah Caruth will be in the 2024 Truck Series playoffs. Spire Motorsports is an exciting organization to be a part of right now. Now let's shift gears. Yesterday, Tony Stewart appeared on SiriusXM NASCAR radio, and in typical Tony fashion, he was blunt, honest about Stewart-Haas Racing, and even a bit defensive, I would say. He said, quote,
"We've had 2 miserable years in a row, and I'm tired of taking the blame from everybody why the cars aren't running good. It's like, I think the fans need a reality check and a reminder that I'm not the crew chief, I'm not the engineer, I don't dictate the setups on the cars. I give these guys the tools to do the job, and we just haven't got it done the last couple of years."
Look, at a micro level, Tony Stewart is exactly right. He doesn't work on the cars. He doesn't drive the cars. He's hired specialists to do those jobs. At the track, Tony Stewart is nothing more than a cheerleader. But at a macro level, I hate these comments, man. Your name is on the building. Good leadership is not throwing your hands up in the air and saying, "Hey, I'm not the problem, they are." Tony, you hired these people. If they're not getting the job done, some of that is on you. I've been critical of Stewart-Haas Racing this year because they haven't made any positive changes. They lost a Hall of Fame driver in Kevin Harvick. They lost a solid veteran in Eric Almirola. They've lost a half a dozen or more major sponsors. They haven't shuffled any crew chiefs around. As far as I know, lead engineers are all still in place. Greg Zipadelli is still the head VP of competition or what have you. They haven't made any changes to get better this year. That's on Tony Stewart and Gene Haas. He should not go blameless in all this. Tony's right. He doesn't work on the cars. He is not directly responsible for their on-track results, but he is the leader of the team, and quotes like that don't sound like good leadership to me. He basically just threw his guys under the bus. Tony goes on in this interview and does say that he's very excited about the energy in the building this offseason, and he says that the standard this year will be a lot higher.
Everyone in that building understands that, what we did the last 2 years, isn't acceptable anymore, and that's not the standard this team has been accustomed to. I mean, we've got a lot of banners hanging from the ceiling that show that we know how to do it right. So it's not that we don't know how to do it. It's just a matter of putting it together. But this new car has really been a struggle.
Unless the Ford Mustang Dark Horse turns out to be some sort of engineering marvel, I predict that all 4 Stewart-Haas racing cars will finish between 19th and 25th in owner points, and the only way any one of them sneaks into the playoffs is with a win either at a super speedway or at Martinsville, Richmond, or I'll say Phoenix in March. That's my prediction. Hey, maybe I'll be proven wrong, but if not, if I'm correct, I hope Tony Stewart and Gene Haas are willing to step up and make meaningful behind-the-scenes changes before 2025. Isn't Stewart-Haas Racing's deal with Ford up after this year? I could be wrong, but a lot of question marks. One final story, the Dale Jr. download is back, and earlier this week, Dale Earnhardt Jr. shocked NASCAR fans when he explained that he does not have a contract with NBC for this season. Jr. said, quote, "My contract with NBC is up. It was up at the end of last year. I'm currently working through what that looks like for me. I definitely love being in the broadcast booth and want to continue doing that. We've had some great conversations with all of NASCAR's TV partners. My home and my love is NBC, and I'd love to be back with them, so we'll see where it goes. But right now, I really don't have a job in terms of broadcasting." Ooh-wee, if NBC lets Dale Earnhardt Jr. walk, that would be a huge fumble, in my opinion. They've gotten a ton of mileage out of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in recent years. Obviously, he calls NASCAR races. He's done Peacock shows. He's been on IMSA broadcasts, Indy 500 broadcasts. Shoot, didn't they even bring him out to the Kentucky Derby a couple years ago? Hey, what this sounds like to me is Dale Earnhardt Jr. knows his value. These comments are him putting public pressure on NBC to up their offer, especially with new broadcast partners like Amazon, Turner Sports, the CW joining NASCAR's lineup next season. Dale Jr. will have plenty of options, I'm sure. Maybe he wants just a one-year deal with NBC so he can explore some of those options before 2025. Or maybe he wants to leverage that into a big long-term deal with NBC. I wonder where the disagreement is, but I would be shocked if Dale Earnhardt Jr. doesn't return to NBC this year. I'd be even more shocked if Dale Earnhardt Jr. isn't calling some sort of NASCAR race in 2025. There will be so many options. He probably won't go to Fox, but between Amazon, Turner, CW, still NBC, Dale Jr. is going to land somewhere. He has to. He is way too good, way too valuable to not be picked up by some sort of TV network somewhere. I was surprised, though, to hear those comments. You may have seen in the news yesterday, and this is a brief tangent, but ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery just announced a brand new sports streaming service. This is a collaboration between those different companies. It will launch later this year and will show live sporting events from the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, and NASCAR. Reports estimate that this streaming service will cost $45 to $50 per month. From what I can tell, these companies are betting on cable TV continuing to die out. This could be a viable sports streaming package for customers who don't want to pay for all these extra channels they never watch. What complicates things, though, is that neither NBC nor CBS are included, which means some NFL games and some NASCAR races wouldn't be available to watch. So it's too early to say exactly what this looks like. Will this new sports streaming package collaboration be successful, be popular with consumers? I'm no business expert, it's too hard to tell, but it is worth noting because Fox and now Warner Brothers Discovery, who owns Turner, TNT, HBO, those are two of NASCAR's new media partners included in this whole deal. So it's worth keeping an eye on if you're a NASCAR fan. Anyway, gonna leave things right there. Leave a comment down below. Which network do you think Dale Earnhardt Jr. ends up at for 2025? Will he be calling races for NBC in 2024? What do you think? Down in the comment section below. And what's your reaction to Tony Stewart's comments? What are your expectations for Stewart-Haas this year? Leave a comment down down below. I look forward to seeing what you guys think. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We talk NASCAR every single day here on Out of the Groove. If you missed it yesterday, we had special guest, defending Truck Series champion Ben Rhodes. Be sure to check that out. And a huge thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters as well. I will see y'all in the next episode. Have a wonderful rest of your day, folks. How has being a two-time NASCAR Truck Series champion changed your life?
So, you know what's funny is I think I can answer that a lot better now. Everybody hits you with that question as soon as the checkered flag drops at Phoenix. They're like, oh my gosh, your life has changed so much.
They want you to cry. They're looking for a tear, because that's good. That's good content.
Something. I guess so, because it's like 60 seconds after the checkered flag and they want to know all about it. But, it really took the offseason to kind of settle into it, right? Get past all the events, all the championship celebration stuff, and then just get settled back into normal life. And, it's changed, but it hasn't, right? Like you feel more validated. You feel like, okay, we did it the first time. That was like a 7-year drought of not winning a championship from the K&N series to the trucks. And now it's just validation. It's a feather in the cap, and it's knowing that this is repeatable. Like we can go out and do this every year now. We were, second the year before, we're first again. So I don't know. It's so hard to answer still, even with all that time. But I can say I am glad that certain things haven't changed. I'm still with Thor Sport Racing. I've still got Rich Lucius. I've still got pretty much my entire crew. There's a couple of guys that have shifted around. But for the most part, things are staying the same, which is good because then we can repeat it.